Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Battle Through the Heavens based on novel. So let's start. There was a plaza built from smooth granite outside of the pill tower. Usually, the human traffic did not come to a halt around here. This spot was also a place in Holy Pill City where a large crowd was gathering. However, at this moment, the human flow that was supposed to constantly be moving had gathered into an enormous crowd. There was an empty area in the middle of these people. Nearly 100 figures were standing straight in this empty ground. The cold auras that vaguely spread from them caused the expressions of quite a number of people to change. At a glance, one could tell that these were no ordinary people. It was obvious that they were full of ill intent from the way they had arrived in a high-profile manner. They looked like people from the profound Xian sect. Could that grey-clothed elder leading them be the chief of the profound Xian sect, Chen Qiannan? It is unexpected that even this old demon has personally come. What are they planning to do? It is rumored that they seem to be after Xiao Yan. Rumor has it that the junior chief of the profound Xian sect had been killed by Xiao Yan in the pill realm. This old demon should be here to take revenge. No wonder they are covered with so much killing intent. Looks like the matter today will not end nicely. The expression in the eyes of the grey-clothed elder at the leader's spot of the group turned cold upon hearing the numerous private conversations around him. His eyes were filled with a dense chill as they swept over the crowd. The people at the spots where his eyes swept over felt their heart turn cold. They hurriedly shut their mouths. The profound Xian sect were not good people. It was not rare for them to draw their blades at the first sign of disagreement. Moreover, they took revenge for any offense. Whoever offended them would definitely end up with an extremely miserable fate. Chief Chen, this is the pill tower. Just what are you planning to do by leading so many people with great killing intent over? A cold cry was suddenly transmitted from the pill tower while everyone was being deterred by Chen Qiannan expression. Immediately, an elderly figure led many experts from the pill tower and swiftly surged out. After which, they stood around the square. Everyone took a look and found that it was the first elder of the pill tower, Xiao Ling. Elder Xiao Ling, you need not use your pill tower to put pressure on the old me. Other people might be afraid of this, but the old me isn't. Chen Qiannan's eyes were ice cold as they stared at Xiao Ling. He said, my son died to the hands of Xiao Yang. Today, the old me shall leave some ruthless words. I am here to look for him to accompany my son in death. Xiao Ling did not frown. He replied in a deep voice, I have long since said that you can go and look for that old bastard Mu Jiyu from the Hall of Souls regarding this matter. That old bastard Mu Jiyu might have some responsibility, but Xiao Yang is also one of the murders. Hand him to the old me and the old me will leave immediately. Chen Qiannan coldly demanded. What do you treat the pill tower as? Must we hand him over just because you say so? You, Chen Qiannan, still do not possess such prestige. Xiao Ling furiously cried out, when he saw that this old fellow was extremely stubborn. Elder Xiao Ling really acts in a mighty manner. No matter how one puts it, the profound Xian sect is also considered one of the three lower sects of my profound Sky sect. If we cannot even take revenge for the son of a chief, who will trust our profound Sky sect in the future? A figure slowly stepped out from behind Chen Qiannan and faintly laughed after Xiao Ling's words sounded. Who are you? Xiao Ling's eyes narrowed as he stared at the figure who had stepped forward. The person seemed quite young. He was tall with an extremely handsome face that looked like that of a woman. However, there was some violence hidden between his brows. This caused his excellent appearance to possess a darkness. Sky Profound Sect, Yi Chen. That handsome man slightly smiled. His demeanor was quite extraordinary. However, when this simple name sounded, it caused everyone to feel a stern and chilling killing intent. Sky Profound Sect, Yi Chen. Xiao Ling was startled when he heard Yi Chen's name. He immediately seemed to have recalled something and began to frown. Yi Chen. Could it be the Yi Chen known as Demon Yi in the Profound Sky sect? The human crowd also turned into an uproar because of the name of this handsome man. The gazes that were looking at this man revealed fear. That manner was as though this Yi Chen was some fierce beast from prehistoric times. The name Demon Yi was quite renowned across the Central Plains. Moreover, this name was a fierce one that had been accumulated from a countless number of bloody killings. Within the territory controlled by the Profound Sky sect, the fierce name of Demon Yi was sufficient to cause one to lose all courage from simply hearing his name. Compared to this fierce name, Xiao Yang's reputation was far inferior to this person across Central Plains had Xiao Yang not obtained the champion spot of the Pill Gathering. This Yi Chen was known as the most outstanding disciple of the Profound Sky sect within a century. Of course, with his current position within the Profound Sky sect, even some elders would have to be respectful when facing him. Everyone knew that with this person's strength and ruthless tactics, he would definitely become the next chief of the Profound Sky sect. Although there were some other competitors within the sect, no one had ever imagined that the others would truly be able to compete with this person, whose viciousness caused even the chief of the Profound Sky sect to feel his heart become chilly. The strength of Yi Chen was also extremely frightening when compared with his fierce reputation. The method in which the Profound Sky sect groomed its disciples was extremely bloody and cruel. It was rumored that every generation of direct disciples would have to enter the forbidden ground of the sect after having trained until a certain level. At that place, these people, who were usually brothers with the same teacher, needed to kill each other. Through this method, the one who eventually walked out of the forbidden ground would become the true core disciple of the sect. Moreover, the Qi method of the Profound Sky sect was extremely cruel and overbearing. They were able to forcefully swallow other people's Do Qi. The precondition was that one must swallow it together with the other party's flesh. Those who finally walked out of the forbidden ground would definitely be filled with a bloody scent, because the Do Qi and the flesh of those brothers in training, forever left within the forbidden ground, would become the final victor's nourishment. Yi Chen was the only one who walked out of the forbidden ground of the Profound Sky sect in this generation. Adding this to his frequent battles and killings for the Profound Sky sect during these years, countless numbers of experts had died to his hands. Moreover, his strength had swiftly soared during these killings. At this moment, he had become one of the few people in history of the Profound Sky sect who had reached the peak of the Do Zone class at 30. Moreover, he even showed the terrifying traces of having a foot in the Do Zone class. If one were to describe the Hall of Souls as mysterious and unpredictable, this Profound Sky sect would truly be bloody and cruel. However, this world was ultimately one where the strong ate the weak. This was merely magnified many times within the Profound Xian sect. Moreover, there were signs that the Profound Xian sect was growing stronger, making it obvious that this kind of cruel selection method was indeed an alternative way to train. Of course, the Profound Sky sect's Qi method of being able to swallow other people's flesh to strengthen one's strength might be overbearing, but it came with quite a great sequela. All those who had practiced this Qi method until its peak would eventually end up in a miserable death through a backlash. Hence, this thing was like a catalyst that drained one's life force in order to obtain great strength. Although it was temporary, one would at least shine brightly once. Perhaps this was the thought in the hearts of the previous chiefs of the Profound Sky sect. Elder Xiao Ling, if one really talks about this matter, it can be considered a family matter of Uncle Chen. He must definitely take revenge for his son's death. It would be a little inappropriate for the Pill Tower to intervene. The smile on Yi Chen's handsome face did not change even a little as the private conversations sparked to life around him. His eyes stared at Xiao Ling as he spoke with a grin. The old me has already said that Xiao Yang is not the one who killed Chen Xian. It is old Mu Jiyu. You are seeking out the wrong target. Xiao Ling replied in a deep voice. If Xiao Yang had not seriously injured my son, they would have been to escape from old Mu Gu's vicious hands. No matter how one puts it, this matter is related to Xiao Yang. Today, my Profound Xian sect will not let this matter rest if there is no accountability. Chen Tiannan's eyes were as vicious as snakes as he spoke in a dark and cold manner. Are you threatening my Pill Tower? Xiao Ling's face sank as he coldly asked. Elder Xiao. The Pill Tower and the Hall of Souls have been enemies for many years. My Profound Xian sect has been maintaining its neutral stance. If there are some matters that are not resolved properly, you might end up pushing a hidden alliance to form with the other party. This is not a good thing for the Pill Tower. Yi Chen sighed softly as he threatened. Even Xiao Ling's expression had changed a little this time around. He might not be concerned about the words other people spoke, but this Yi Chen was basically the next chief of the Profound Sky sect. Therefore, his words contained some weight. Although the Pill Tower was strong, a large faction like the Profound Sky sect was also extremely powerful. There would be some trouble if one ended up offending them. I would advise you to say less of such words. Moreover, with the status of Chief Chen, he would likely look extremely bad if word of him attacking a member of the younger generation were to spread. No. Xiao Ling spoke in a deep voice. The old me does not care about whatever younger generation, or now, Chen Tiannan coldly laughed. However, before his gritting teeth voice could say everything, Yi Chen by the side extended his hand and halted him. After which, he smiled and said, "Since Elder Xiao Ling has put it in this manner, we shall not forcefully take him today on account of the pill tower's face." Chen Tiannan became anxious when he heard this. However, he saw a dense smile surfacing on the corner of Yi Chen's mouth. At this moment, Yi Chen's voice suddenly resounded across the entire area, while being accompanied by powerful Do Qi. "In that case, I shall establish a battle stage here today, and invite that pill-gathering champion friend, Xiao Yan, to spar. May I know if that well-known champion of the pill gathering has the courage to receive my challenge?" Xiao Ling's expression changed upon hearing this trap. Yi Chen's fierce reputation was something everyone present was aware of. If Xiao Yang were to receive it, it would be difficult to predict whether he would be able to live. This fellow. What a vicious tactic. Xiao Ling quietly cursed in his heart. He was just about to let out a deep cry, when he discovered the space in front of him had suddenly become a little distorted. A skinny figure was partially visible in front of the many stunned gazes as it slowly appeared. Immediately, Xiao Ling quietly cried out, "This is bad," in his heart. The figure slowly appeared while a calm laugh swept over the square like a breeze. "Since you insist, Xiao Yang would blacken the name of the pill-gathering champion if I withdraw. In that case, this challenge. I will receive it." Yi Chen's pretty face did not reveal any surprise, as he watched the young figure slowly appear in front of Xiao Ling. He gently smiled and asked, "You are that Xiao Yang?" Xiao Yang did not reply. His eyes were calm as he stared at this handsome man in front of him. The rich bloody scent on the Yi Chen's body caused his brows to slightly twitch. This person was clearly vicious. Just how much blood must his hands be dyed with in order to obtain such a powerful stench? "Xiao Yang, do not be provoked by him. This Yi Chen is not a friendly character." Xiao Ling behind Xiao Yang slowly informed him. "The other party has already put up a challenge. Can I still reject the battle?" Xiao Yang slightly smiled as he wondered aloud. Xiao Ling was momentarily dull upon hearing this. He also understood that it was impossible to mediate this matter. Although Xiao Yang might appear gentle on the surface, the pride within his heart was quite great. It would be all right if one treated him politely. However, if one were to display a mocking enmity, the attitude that the person would receive would likely not be good. "Do your best, Xiao Yang." A lovely laugh that caused one's bones to grow numb suddenly sounded behind Xiao Ling. Everyone looked over, only to see the long-absent Cao Ying standing beautifully beside Xiao Ling. Her ample, extremely well-proportioned yet delicate body caused the eyes of a countless number of men to reveal a trace of fiery heat. The allure of this enchantress was really too shocking. There is a good show today. The battle between the champion of the pill gathering and the demon of the profound sky sect. This can be considered an extremely rare top-level battle between members of the younger generation. I wonder just who will be victorious. I think that Xiao Yang will likely lose. This Yi Chen might only be at the peak of the Dozone class, but I have heard that this fellow has successfully escaped from some Dozone experts a couple of times. It is likely impossible for him to do so if he does not possess some genuine ability. That's right. Xiao Yang specializes in pill refinement after all and not in this kind of Do Qi battle. That may not be the case. Xiao Yang was able to remain in the Star region for over half a year. Who dares to say that he does not possess any trump cards? Seeing the two similarly outstanding young people in the square, the surrounding crowd immediately erupted into waves of private conversations. Clearly, they were anticipating this big battle. A dense smile appeared on Yi Chen's handsome face in the face of the voices being emitted. An unusually bright red tongue gently licked his lips. At a glance, he appeared to be just like a wild beast that was about to have its meal, causing one's pores to open. "Uncle Chen, I will represent you in the fight. This is all right, no?" Yi Chen turned his head, glanced at Chen Tiannan by his side, and smiled as he asked. "As long as you can kill this brat, the profound Xian sect will definitely stand on your side during the chief selection in the future." A ferocious expression flashed across Chen Tiannan's eyes as he spoke in a dark, dense voice. The smile on Yi Chen's face became even richer when he heard Chen Tian's promise. He softly laughed, "I'll do as you wish. Moreover, I am also extremely interested in the flesh of this pill-gathering champion, Yi Chen's, gently stepped forward in front of everyone's eyes after his words sounded. After which, he walked to the middle of the square. His eyes contained a bloody glow as they stared at Xiao Yang as he said, "One's limbs has no eyes during a battle. Come if you are mentally prepared. Of course, you can find an excuse and hide under the protection of the pill tower. If this is the case, I might not be able to do anything to you today." Xiao Yang smiled upon hearing Yi Chen's words. He said, "There is no need to say such provoking words. Since I have already revealed myself, I will naturally not shrink back. Good, you are worthy of being the pill-gathering champion. This demeanor is something that no one can compare with." Yi Chen laughed. However, his laughter contained a bloodiness. Xiao Yang ignored Yi Chen's wild beast-like eyes. He gently shifted his feet and walked to the middle of the square. Xiao Yang had yet to fight since he had left the Star region. If someone were to deliver himself to be a test subject, he would naturally not reject him. The name Demon Yi was one that Xiao Yang had heard of. Moreover, from the way this person had reached the peak of the Do Zone class at this age, Xiao Yang could tell that his fierce reputation was indeed not obtained from mere boasting. However, this person, whom others saw as holding sway among the younger generation, did not appear to have reached the stage where he could dominate the younger generation from Xiao Yang's point of view. He had seen too many geniuses over the years. Ha ha. The smile on Yi Chen's face became even richer when he saw Xiao Yang walking over. His foot stomped on the ground and an unusual force surged. Immediately, the ground trembled. The surrounding people hurriedly retreated. Following the retreat of these people, a stone stage, around 200 feet in size, rose from the ground. After which, it slowly came to a stop when it was 5 feet above the ground. "We will use this as the boundary. Whoever leaves it will have lost." Yi Chen laughed. "Agreed." Xiao Yang gently nodded. A crimson color flashed across Yi Chen's eyes when he saw Xiao Yang nod. What he wanted to do was not force Xiao Yang out of the stone stage. Instead, Yi Chen wanted to kill him. The reason he was doing this was to allow Xiao Yang and Xiaoling to relax a little. He would never stop a battle with anyone unless he saw blood. Otherwise, the name Demon Yi would really be nothing but child's play. "Relax, I will allow you to quickly forget about pain. You will thank me." A savage smile was lifted on Yi Chen's face as he looked at Xiao Yang a couple dozen feet away from him. Immediately, his feet stomped on the ground. One could hear a zoom sound as his body disappeared. What rapid speed! Waves of exclamations sounded from outside the stone stage when everyone saw Yi Chen disappear. Xiao Yang in the arena did not move. An instant later, his eyes became chilly. A swinging kick that possessed great strength cut through the air and violently flew toward a certain space behind him. Bang! The leg brought about numerous afterimages, as a figure strangely appeared when it landed on that space. The figure raised his hand and forcefully received this kick from Xiao Yang. After which, he let out a furious cry as his hand turned into a claw. A majestic blood-red Do Chi surged out his body in all directions at this moment. This fellow had used all his strength at the beginning of the fight. From the looks of it, it was obvious that he intended to use his fastest speed to kill Xiao Yang. Yi Chen's hand grabbed Xiao Yang's leg and a ferocious smile was immediately lifted on his face. "Allow me to try whether your flesh is different from that of an ordinary person." Devouring blood-bone transforming hand. A cold cry sounded and an extremely frightening suction force suddenly erupted from Yi Chen's hand. Under this suction force, the blood within Xiao Yang's body had become a little chaotic. It appeared as though it was about to break away his body. Xiao Yang's eyes became slightly cold upon sensing this. His heart let out a cold cry and the 3,000 lotus heart flame circulated around his body. After which, it followed that suction force and surged out. Waves of white fog suddenly erupted from the hand Yi Chen was using to grab Xiao Yang's leg. Yi Chen's expression drastically changed. He hurriedly withdrew his hand and pulled back. Lowering his head, he saw that his palm had been charred black. If not for his vast, mighty Do Chi defense, it was likely that his hand would have been crippled. "This is a heavenly flame, huh?" Yi Chen's bright red tongue licked his lips. His heart let out a cold snort. He aimed his hand at Xiao Yang and suddenly clenched it. Blood explosion. A dense blood glow suddenly erupted from Yi Chen's palm when his cry sounded. Immediately, an unusual ripple spread from it. That strange ripple spread extremely quickly. Within the blink of an eye, it had completely wrapped around Xiao Yan, who had suddenly sensed it. At this moment, the blood within his body had a boiling feeling with the intention of bursting his blood vessels. This person is filled with evil skills. He does possess such ability. Xiao Yan's arm shook abruptly when he sensed the change of the blood within his body. A purple-brown flame swiftly surged out and wrapped around him. The unusual fluctuation scattered upon coming into contact with the 3000 lotus heart flame. A solemnness also flashed across Yi Chen's eyes when he saw that Xiao Yan did not show the slightest activity. This attack of his was such that experts, who had reached the 5-star Do Zone level, would have their blood forcefully pulled out if they were careless. However, it did not even manage to affect Xiao Yan's body even a little. No wonder he is able to become the champion of the pill gathering. He does have some ability, forget it. It is best not to let it drag on for too long. I'll finish him off. Otherwise some other situation might occur. A bloodthirsty crimson color flashed across Yi Chen's face when this thought flashed across his heart. He inhaled a deep breath of air, and his hand seal suddenly changed. Following the rapid change of Yi Chen's hand seal, his body gradually shrank in front of the many stunned gazes present. Waves of blood chi gushed out of all his pores, causing his entire being to look like a blood person. His appearance was terrifying. Xiao Yang, be careful. This is the great blood agglomeration skill of the profound sky sect. It relies on the evaporation of one's blood to temporarily strengthen oneself. Cao Ying outside of the stone stage became worried when she saw Yi Chen's appearance. She hurriedly cried out in a delicate voice. Xiao Yang, it ends here. The corner of Yi Chen's mouth revealed a ferocious smile, while the Do Qi in his body swiftly soared. Having used the great blood agglomeration skill, it was hard for him to find anyone who could match him below the Do Zun class. It would be an easy matter to finish Xiao Yang off. Bang! Yi Chen's foot stomped on the ground. Numerous arm-thick cracks swiftly spread out. Within the blink of an eye, they had covered the entire stone stage. The space in front of Yi Chen became distorted as he once again disappeared. Xiao Yang's brows twitched when Yi Chen's body disappeared. His feet swiftly took 2 steps back, and a redness immediately flashed across his eyes. Yi Chen was just like a blood-red ghost that flashed and appeared in front of Xiao Yang. Yi Chen's 5 fingers formed a claw-like shape. His sharp nails were just like blades filled with a densely cold aura. Hand your flesh to me. Yi Chen revealed a bloodthirsty and cruel expression to Xiao Yang, who was in close proximity. Yi Chen's hand claw violently grabbed at the lethal point on Xiao Yang's heart. Get lost. Xiao Yang's eyes revealed a chill as he looked at Yi Chen, who was filled with a bloodiness. A thunder-like explosive cry erupted from the tip of his tongue. Immediately, a 9-star Do Zone aura that was boosted from the flame mantra, and the heavenly flames finally erupted at this moment without holding back. A vast and mighty aura surged out of Xiao Yang's body in all directions, like an erupting volcano at this moment. The ground immediately formed countless numbers of cracks amid a cracking sound. The powerful aura that erupted from Xiao Yang also caused Yi Chen, who was in close proximity, to be shocked. Before he could recover, a fist that was wrapped by a purple-brown flame tore through space almost instantly, and it ruthlessly smashed against his hand claw. Bang! Incomparably powerful wind ripples suddenly swept out at this moment. A layer of the hard granite floor was sent flying. The breeze carried some rock dust as it scattered. Immediately, everyone saw Yi Chen's figure tremble within the battleground at this moment. He took some steps back before stabilizing his body. Immediately, numerous uproars involuntarily erupted. Chief, it seems that something is not quite right. The aura of this fellow is much stronger compared to back then. Young Master Yi, an old man behind Chen Tian Nan, slightly frowned as he spoke. It was surprisingly that elite Do Zun following behind Chen Xian back then. Chen Tian Nan knit his brows when he heard this. He said, there should not be a problem. Regardless of how strong that brat is, he is merely a 9-star Do Zone. It is not as though there haven't been any 9-star Do Zone who have died to Yi Chen's hands during these years. The old man could only slightly nod and cease speaking when he heard Chen Tian Nan's response. 9-star Do Zone. Yi Chen's hand slightly curled after stabilizing his body. A blood glow surged, causing the searing pain on his hand to gradually weaken. His eyes were quite gloomy as he stared at Xiao Yang across from him. However, his heart was a little shaken. Based on what he knew, Xiao Yan's strength should only be that of a 4 or 5-star dozong. Why was it that his strength had suddenly soared at this moment? A 9-star dozong was slightly different when compared to his strength. Moreover, the most important thing was that he might appear young, but anyone who knew him was aware that he was already older than 30. He had 10 years more than Xiao Yan to train. However, the current gap between the two was just this tiny bit. This was a serious blow to Yi Chen, who was usually extremely proud. Moreover, even with Yi Chen's talent, he was able to reach the peak of the dozong class at such an age only because of the evil qi method of the Profound Sky sect, relying on swallowing flesh to obtain do qi. Although this method might be strong, it had terrible repercussions. In other words, he had used all of his future life force in order to obtain this current strength. He had thought that with this strength, he would be all-powerful among those of the same generation. However, Xiao Yan's sudden appearance told him a cruel reality. He had not obtained the kind of strength he had wanted from what he had paid. I have experienced killing since I was young, and I have killed countless numbers of people with my hands. After staking the remainder of my life, how is it possible for me to be unable to compare with this brat? A crimson color that caused one's heart to turn cold gradually surged into Yi Chen's eyes. His eyes stared at Xiao Yan in a dense manner. The killing intent within them was about to solidify. This person must be killed today. A roar that was filled with killing intent resounded within his heart. Yi Chen's hand was suddenly clenched. Blood qi lingered over it before agglomerating into a blood-colored long spear in his palm. Both of his eyes gradually turned a blood-red color. Anyone who witnessed this scene was aware that this devil Yi from the Profound Sky sect, with a fierce reputation, was preparing to kill someone. The blood spear agglomerated and a bloody scent, rich to the point of causing one to puke, slowly spread out of Yi Chen's body. Looking from a distance, the blood qi spread like a killing god descending to the world. Kill! A low and deep roar that was filled with killing intent rolled from Yi Chen's throat. His body disappeared in a flash. An instant later, there was a ripple in the space beside Xiao Yan. A sharp bloody spear, filled with bloody qi, appeared and violently pierced at Xiao Yan's head. Xiao Yan let out a cold snort after sensing Yi Chen's attack. His body steadily shifted one step to the right, and dodged the bloody spear. 7-kill spear. The bloody glow within Yi Chen's eyes became denser after the spear missed. The long spear suddenly danced, transforming into numerous bloody figures that shot toward all the lethal spots on Xiao Yan's body. Faced with Yi Chen's storm-like attack, a silver glow began to flash under Xiao Yan's feet. Numerous after-images appeared, and he dodged those densely packed, blood-colored spear shadows. Clang! The blood spear pierced explosively forward. Suddenly, a clear sound appeared. The dancing long spear stiffened and Yi Chen's expression also changed. One could see the edge of the long spear forcefully grabbed by two of Xiao Yan's fingers. They were covered in a purple-brown flame. The swift reaction of Xiao Yan also caused Yi Chen's heart to feel solemn. He had vaguely sensed how troublesome it was to deal with Xiao Yan. Those 9-star dozong that had exchanged blows with him in the past did not even possess the ability to retaliate, much less grabbing the tip of his spear. This thought flashed across Yi Chen's heart, and he decisively abandoned his blood spear. His body flashed and transformed into a blood shadow that rushed to Xiao Yan's side. A vicious blood fog surged onto his palm. Blood evil palm. An unusually bloodthirsty blood palm was accompanied by a dense corrosive scent as it violently slammed toward Xiao Yan's heart. A cold smile flashed across Xiao Yan's face in the face of this kind of vicious attack. A thought passed through his heart, and the purple-brown-colored 3000 lotus heart flame suddenly spluttered out of his chest. It transformed into a fire dragon that ruthlessly collided with Yi Chen's palm. When the flame and the blood fog collided, a sizzling, white fog erupted. There was a vague stench being emitted. The fire dragon acted as an obstacle as Xiao Yan took a couple of continuous steps back. He studied Yi Chen's gloomy, furious face and involuntarily let out a gentle breath. A chill surged within his dark black eyes. I don't believe that I cannot finish you off today. Some impatience had finally risen within Yi Chen's heart, after he had failed to cause Xiao Yan any harm, despite having repeatedly unleashed his skills. Both of his hands were clenched and a vicious blood fog continued to emit a sizzling sound as it seeped out of his pores. Finally, it transformed into a dark red, coagulated blood color. Heaven offering demon hand. After the cry sounded, the space where Yi Chen's palm was located began to fluctuate. Numerous dark black cracks began to suddenly spread out from that space. The killing aura that surged to the sky caused the expressions of those present to change. This Yi Chen has actually used the heaven offering demon hand, one of the guarded Do skills of the profound sky sect. Xiao Yan is indeed incredible to force Yi Chen to such an extent, but I wonder if he will be able to receive this attack. The ferocious smile on Yi Chen's face became even denser upon hearing the private conversations from the crowd. He was very confident in this palm of his because an expert, at the peak of the Do Zone class, had died under this attack, when he and this expert had sparred back then. A blood fog permeated the stage. Yi Chen's body trembled and once again turned into a blood shadow. He was accompanied by a monstrous killing intent, as he rushed toward Xiao Yang with lightning-like speed. Xiao Yang did not step back, when faced with Yi Chen's unusually powerful attack. A faint excitement surged onto his face instead. His hand seal moved, beginning to change with lightning-like speed. Open mountain seal. A cold cry sounded within his heart. An energy light seal appeared in Xiao Yang's palm. However, this seal had just been formed when a thought passed through Xiao Yang's heart. His hand did not stop. Instead, it continued to change at a dazzling speed. See flipping seal. Another tiny, but bright energy light appeared in his palm. After which, it slowly merged with the open mountain seal and gathered together. Xiao Yang inhaled a deep breath of air after the two merged. His hand seal began to change once again. Overturning land seal. Xiao Yang softly cried out within his heart. A bright, purple-brown crystal glow surged out of Xiao Yang's palm. After which, it transformed into a fist-sized crystal imprint that slowly merged with the two seals from earlier. With the merger of the overturning land seal, the space in front of Xiao Yang immediately began to vehemently tremble. Tiny spatial fragments began to fall from the space before being destroyed. A three-seal stacking of the God Seal skill. Even within the Jiyu clan, there were few people who could merge them this perfectly. The three seals had just been merged when the blood shadow arrived with its monstrous killing intent. The palm covered in a dark red, viscous fog outlined Yi Chen's handsome face, causing it to appear exceptionally ferocious. Die. The ferocious cry had just sounded when a palm from Yi Chen ruthlessly slammed toward Xiao Yang's chest. Space crumbled at this moment, forming numerous long dark black lines. A monstrous bloody fog spread across the sky. A sharp bloody stench pounced over. A chill flashed across Xiao Yang's eyes as he looked at the ferocious expression on Yi Chen's face. Xiao Yang's purple-brown crystal hand quietly cut through space and violently collided with Yi Chen's blood hand in front of many stunned people. Bang! An earth-shaking explosion suddenly reverberated at this moment. The stone stage, that was nearly 200 feet large, emitted a bang and was blasted into debris. A circular energy ripple swiftly spread out. After which, it was suddenly resolved by a gentle force that had originated from nowhere when it was about to reach the crowd. Despite this, some of those near the edge of the stone stage were shaken until they spat out blood and stepped back. A commotion appeared in the square due to this ripple. Numerous eyes swiftly landed on the arena. Dust spread over that place. One could not clearly see the situation happening on it. Boom. While everyone's heart was feeling anxious, the low, deep sound of a fist landing on a body was suddenly emitted. After which, everyone saw a figure fly out of the battleground like a kite, with its string broken. Next, it violently landed on the ground and rubbed over a dozen meters before it slowly stabilized. Everyone's eyes followed the figure and looked over. When they saw extremely miserable figure covered with fresh blood, the entire place immediately became silent. Quite a number of people inhaled a breath of cool air. This killing demon of the profound sky sect had actually lost today. Dust gradually fell amid the silence of the entire square. A skinny figure slowly appeared. Numerous eyes looked over, only to see his clothes were still clean. He did not appear like someone who had undergone a big battle. Thank you for conceding. Xiao Yang cupped his hands toward Yi Chen in front of the many gazes and smiled as he thanked Yi Chen. A green-faced Yi Chen finally spat out a mouthful of fresh blood at this moment. His pride had been completely shattered today. Part 1 end here.